Probably we can start. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Konstantinos Kotsalos. I'm part of the R&D team of European Dynamics. I would like to welcome you to the second online webinar on the interface open call for third parties. I would also like to welcome all the panelists. So let's go through first through the agenda of this meeting. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, nice. So the agenda of today's webinar starts with a short presentation related to the interface project, which will be made by myself. Then our interface colleague, Maria Papadimitriou from Simtech, will give you a presentation regarding the open calls and all the necessary details that you need to go through in order to make a successful submission of the business cases. And then essentially it's the slot with the presentation of the three remaining business cases. So there will be one business case that will be presented by Lucio Ciabatoni related to aggregators and local energy communities intelligence services for congestion management. Then Professor Rodriguez from Loyola will make a presentation on the business use case related to an advanced tech base to manage and operate a local energy community. And in the very end, the last business use case will be presented by Erki Sab from Ellering, related to flexibility service providers, including aggregators with demand response and distributed energy resources as a grid service provider. Then we'll have a slot to discuss any questions related to the business use cases, as well as to any process related to the open calls. Also, I would like to remind you that last week we had the first webinar, which basically had a presentation of the three other business use cases. You can find them all. You can find all the business use cases in the portal accordingly. So I will start my presentation. So again, good morning, everyone. My name is Konstantinos Kotsalos. I'm part of the R&D team of European Dynamics. I will give you a short overview of interface, as well as a brief overview of the EXA platform that is being implemented within Interface project. So Interface project is funded from the European Union's Horizon H 2020 Research and Innovation Program. It was funded under the umbrella of TSO consumer large-scale demonstrations of innovative grid services through demand response, storage, and small-scale renewable energy sources and generation. Interface stands for TSO consumer interface architecture to provide innovative grid services for an efficient power system. Interface project has initiated its activities in January 19. Quite interestingly, Interface Consortium is comprised of a large consortium which brings together 42 partners from 16 different countries, including 7 transmission system operators, 8 distribution system operators, the European Association of Transmission System Operators, ENSOI, 2 energy suppliers, 2 energy service companies, 1 regulator, 1 market operator, 9 service providers, 9 research partners, and one international organization. So strategic objective of interface project is envisioned to essentially provide interoperable design, common architecture that is capable to interconnect multiple actors, multiple markets in a transparent and non-discriminatory manner. This essentially implies the coordinated operation of transmission system operators and distribution system operators for the procurement of ancillary grid services. This will be done also by integrating small-scale and large-scale assets based on distributed energy resources also, increasing market liquidity for such ancillary services. This common and interoperable architecture aims to provide a streamlined manner to enable the participation of multiple actors from the aggregator or from aggregators to end users level. It also aims to define and demonstrate standardized products with standardized processes, such as from the registration of the resources to the qualification of these resources, the qualification of the subsequent bids, standardized processes for the activation and settlement processes in order to procure grid services. Also, this is meant to be performed by the incorporation of state-of-the-art digital technologies, since data and information exchange among multiple parties is meant to take place. So within Interface project, IEXA platform is meant to be implemented. IEXA stands for the Interoperable Pan-European Grid Services Architecture. So it is a common architecture that enables the connection of multiple actors for the evolution of and the exchange of data and information amongst them in order to optimize operations for the utilities, so the transmission system operators and the distribution system operators in a coordinated manner in order to procure grid services, exploiting advanced digital solutions. IEXA architecture essentially is comprised of modules: the flexibility register, the TSO-DSO coordination platform, the interface, the single interface to market, and the settlement unit. The core element of IEXA platform is the flexibility register, which is a component that manages all the flexibility resources that are registered within the platform and grants them access to specific market products. In terms of IEXA realization, it is incorporated by two major systems: the front end, which is essentially the user interface for all the participating actors, amongst them market operator, flexibility service operator, DSO, TSO, as well as the imbalance settlement responsible party, and the backend system components, which essentially brings multiple RESTful APIs interconnected with controls to the database and the storage of the IEXA system. All this architecture is quite modular and can be interconnected with multiple external services. Going ahead, here we have an illustration of the IEXA platform within the ESCAM framework. So we can see that in the business layer, the multiple actors that can be interconnected via the IEXA concept platform in order to participate in these business objects, which are related to the grid qualification, the product qualification, the procurement of services, and settlement. So we can see that in the function layer are the core functional elements. So the flexibility register, the TSO coordination platform, the single market interface, and the settlement unit process. In the information layer, we have the data modeling of IEXA, and which is interesting to mention that it is also compliant with the SIM IEC standard. In the communication layer, it is important to state that EcoSP by ENSOE is also meant to be used. In the component layer, of course, we have the demo-specific functionalities that will go ahead in the next slides. So again, some facts about the EXA functionalities. The market operator access EXA platform in order to register some product definitions by providing analytical information about the technical requirements for this product. The flexibility service provider, which registers multiple sources, and then the flexibility service provider manages his portfolio by creating resource groups. Then the resource qualification process, which can be triggered by either the creation of a new resource group, either due to network limits or topology change, or due to the update of flexibility resources. Then we have the product qualification, where essentially a registered resource group is granted to participate in a product qualification. The trading process, which of course implies the receival of bids from the market. And then the bid qualification, which the utilities via a coordinated manner certify that the incoming bids do not provoke any technical issues on the grid. Then after the activation of the products, we have the settlement of these activated volumes. So the demo areas of interface project can be discriminated in the three main pillars based on their core objective. So the congestion management and balancing issues, which aims to mitigate congestion and active local flexibility sources for system balancing services through the EXA platform, of course, via the coordinated operation of the utilities. The pan-European clearing market, which essentially aims to promote the integration of distributed energy sources into the electricity markets and demonstrate mechanisms that lead to the establishment of a seamless pan-European market. And last, the peer-to-peer trading, which aims to test state-of-the-art digital services such as blockchains for peer-to-peer energy transactions. So the first demo area, which is also the most important to be stressed due to the connection of the business proposals that will be presented afterwards. So the first demo is related to the DSO and Consumer Alliance, which aims to take place via a centralized energy management system for microgrids. Then the proposition of grid services and management system for flexible LV/MV networks, which aims to take place through the concept of intelligent distribution nodes. And lastly, the single flexibility platform with the exchange, which aims to take place via the EXA concept for distributed flexibilities in end-to-end electricity networks with the incorporation of Finland, Estonian, and Latvian countries. Then again, we have the peer-to-peer trading, which particularly aims on asset-enabled local markets with microgrid local electricity markets using the asset capabilities, the blockchain-based TSO-DSO flexibility concept, which aims to take place with a market platform with smart contracts and smart billing. And the third pillar with the pan-European clearing market, the a retail to wholesale market approach for distributed energy resources integration with the incorporation of Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece. And last, an Euphemia-based market platform to engage local flexibility resources, which aims to provide the concept of special aggregation of local flexibilities. This was the presentation from my side. It was a quite general presentation. I don't know if there are questions related to interface or. So I don't see any questions. We could probably continue with Maria. And of course, if there are questions related to interface project or the exact concept, we can discuss them ahead. So Maria will give you a presentation about the open call and all the details. Maria, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. My greetings to all. Allow me to share my screen. Okay, locked. Okay, I have an error.
It appears to be loading, Maria, still.
Okay. No.
Okay.
Okay. This is Maria Dimitriou speaking. I'm the project manager of Syntec Solutions. Syntec is responsible for the preparation and the implementation of INTERRFACE Open Call. Today I will give you some information on the INTERRFACE Open Call processes. So the origin of the funding is European Commission financial support in the framework of H2020 program. The funding is offered to third parties in order to implement interface objectives. The total budget per party cannot exceed 60,000 euros. The financial support follows the EU funding scheme. That means 70% funding for for-profit organizations and 100% for no-profit organizations. The beneficiaries will receive a 25% pre-financing, and further payments will be delivered after successful completion of milestones and deliverables. Eligible for funding are any legal entity possessing the big number. This means public or private bodies, research organizations, non-profit organizations, small and medium enterprises, international organization of EU interest established in an EU member state in an associated country according to the regulations of Horizon. If proposals awarded equal score, then SMEs and startups will be prioritized. Some details on the submission. The English language is the only official language. If any part of the proposals be written in other language, then the proposal will be rejected. One submission per applicant will be evaluated. If multiple identified, the first submitted in order of time will be the one that will be accepted. There is a strict deadline. This is by Wednesday, the 3rd of June, 2021 by 5 o'clock at set time. The system will block automatically. The proposals will be submitted only via the Open Call portal. By mail will not be accepted. So we suggest that you will not wait for a last-minute proposal submission, since a failure for the proposal to arrive in time, whatever reason, including extenuated conditions, will result in the proposal's rejection. Please be sure that you will not have any actual or potential conflict of interest with the interface open call process. What is the call initiative? It's to develop and extend different infrastructures and state-of-the-art technologies of interface architecture and data management services to be implemented and validated by interfaces pilots. Particularly, participants are asked to address one of the 6 different use cases, which are covering the major domains in which the interface project members operate. The proposed functionality shall promote and enable flexibility of end users and shall increase flexibility awareness and flexibility needs along the grids, attracting more flexibility players into the marketplaces. The applicants shall address one of the 6 business use cases that are published either on the Open Call portal or as annexes on the guide for applicants. These business cases are the utilization of the existing NSOE transparency platform data and the development of an application that will serve as a data provider for EXA. These 2 business cases were presented last week on the first webinar. The first webinar recorded video is uploaded on the Open Call blog portal, so you can find it there. Today we will see proposals 3 to 5, as Konstantinos also mentioned. These are aggregators and local energy communities, intelligence services for congestion management, and advanced tech base to manage or operate a local energy community, and flexibility service providers, including aggregators with demand response and distributed energy resources as a grid service providers. The 6th business use case that was also presented on the first webinar is the development of an active and access generic forecasting methodology for the determination of congestion management requirements in power systems. What are the supporting material for applicants? This is the guide for applicants. It includes all the information for the submission and evaluation process in the framework of the interface project. The second one is the Open Call portal. The applicants, they can find all necessary material, news, and all the processes, submission and evaluation will be through this portal. An Open Call help desk is active for any questions regarding the portal or regarding the Open Call and the business cases. And there is a frequently asked questions sub-page that is updated on a current basis. The documents that are available for applicants are the call announcement, the guide for applicants, part of the H2020 regulation for eligible countries, the proposal template, and the declaration of honor. These last 2 are unlocked after you register. Now allow me to navigate you a little bit on the Open Call portal. Okay, you can find all necessary material at the resources. Here are the documents, the important dates, and the frequently asked question page. Here you can find the categories, and by clicking one of them, you can see the questions, and by clicking on the plus symbol, you can find the relative answer. At home page, there are the key information on the open call, the eligibility, where you can find the business cases description and links to the help desk and the social and newsletter of Interface. We have direct link to the Interface portal to have access on the deliverables or any information regarding the project. Here at the sub-page business use cases, there are the 6 cases with their description. By clicking on one of these, you can have access. On the open call, we have in charts the application steps. You should first register and select the business case under which to apply, and then submit the proposal by the deadline given. And there are the evaluation process and criteria as well. On news, there are any news that you should be aware of. Here is the video that I was referring to of the first webinar. And on the contact, you can send the help desk email by this form, or on the bottom you can directly email us for the questions. To register, you can either log in here or on the applicants area, and you will see this form where you can register, or if already logged in order to have access to more material and submit your proposal. So to continue a little bit, the important dates: today submission open. On the 3rd of June is the final deadline. By the 10th of September, the results will be announced. Applicants have 10 business days to submit their objections. And by late October, the contracting period with the beneficiaries will end, and beneficiaries can start to implement their proposal by December 2021 to May 2022. The evaluation process, the evaluation criteria and process is according to the European Commission rules. The proposals will be evaluated according to predefined criteria of impact, technical quality, and quality of the work plan. The detailed sub-criteria are described in the guide for applicants. And the evaluation phase. The evaluation will be implemented in 4 phases. First of all is the eligibility check, is a pass-off process. Then the eligible proposals will be assigned to 2 experts. These experts will conduct an individual evaluation report. Following this, a consensus meeting with the rapporteur and the 2 experts will be implemented in order to decide on the final score of the proposal. And all the consensus meetings will result in a ranked list. This list will be reviewed by a panel meeting, and the experts will result in the evaluation summary report and the final selection list. These are the deadlines for the evaluation period. So by the 10th of September, the results will be announced. The evaluation summary report will be communicated to applicants by May, and the results will be also announced on the Open Call portal and Interface portal. The objections should be delivered only by mail, and there are some minor guidelines on the guide for applicants. Then the contracting period follows. This contract will be signed between the Cascade funding partner and the beneficiaries of the open call. This contract includes payment modalities, financing payments, IPR handling, conflict resolution rules, the rights by the European Commission and other European bodies to carry out check and notice, and any other conditions that beneficiaries and pilots are setting. All selected third parties are compliant with the following obligations that are avoidance of conflicts of interest, confidentiality, dissemination of the action and visibility to the EU funding, and liability for damages. If selected third parties fail to sign the contract or fail to deliver the documentation needed in time, applicants enlisted in the reserve list will be the ones that will substitute the above in order of ranking. The implementation period will start by December 31. The whole period, a support team for each business case will mentor the beneficiaries. All required documentation and services required by beneficiaries should be submitted before the defined deadline, and the overall duration of the implementation phase cannot exceed 6 months. After this period, interface team will analyze and cluster to identify synergies, the results extracted, and will conduct an evaluation of the overall impact of the on-the-call projects on interface and energy ecosystem. So this was my final slide. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer to any queries that arise.
Thank you very much, Maria. We actually have already one question.
Okay.
If you are able to read it already,
Yes.
also.
No, this call consortia are not accepted. I'm sorry. So it is only one third party.
Okay.
I don't know if I answer it. Is there any further question regarding this?
Any more questions?
Up to 7 proposals will be funded. Yes, just give me one moment to exit my steps. I will share it now.
Maria, there are two more questions. One about how many proposals will be funded. You said
I'm
7?
sorry. I answered up to 7. I'm sorry. Up to 7 proposals will be funded.
Okay.
Okay, I copy paste the link of the portal. Okay.
More questions for Maria?
Okay, if any arise after the webinar, you can send to the help desk and we will answer directly. Of course, we will have some time at the end. So.
There's one more question, Mariam.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is?
Maria, could you please firstly read the question and then try to reply this?
Read it loud.
Yes, yes. So because not all participants can see the question.
What is the definition of done? Is the MVP level or product level implementation you are looking for 60,000 euros? I'm not sure I am.
Oh, yes, I think I will jump in this case. First of all, the level of maturity depends also in the business use cases, that an applicant may address. However, what is requested here is, of course, not a product level. Product level means that it is TRL 9 or above. So we think that the solution that will be provided should follow the TRL level of the technologies and the system of interface, which is, let's say, between 7 and 8. So I think that a solution with some advanced functionalities of high technology readiness level, but not product level, should be enough. But again, it depends on the business use cases. So if there is any specific questions for specific business use cases, this would help us to better, let's say, position our reply.
Okay. By the way, I'm sorry, I apologize. I changed the settings so all attendees can view all questions answered and unanswered. So more questions for Maria? In any case, we will have a slot in the very end, so you can make questions to everyone in the final slot. So we could probably go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
So the next presenter will be Lucio Cebatoni, who will present the business case about aggregators and local energy communities intelligence services for congestion management. Lucio, please, the floor is yours. We can already view your screen.
Perfect. So thank you all for the introduction of the Open Call program. I'm Lucio Ciabattoni from Università Politecnica delle Marche in Ancona, Italy, and I will present you briefly our demo and which are our needs for the Open Call. First of all, how is composed our demo? In our demo, we have different flexibility service providers. In particular, we are operating in central Italy, in the Osimo municipality, to be precise. And we will be dealing with three different aggregators. One aggregator for EV charging stations, one aggregator for electrical batteries, a local energy community composed by final consumers and some distributed energy resources, and one large user. Then there is a system operator, a DSO, and we have a set of flexibility resources in the DSO network. So, as said, charging stations, batteries, programmable loads, a CHP and a thermal storage, some electric heaters, office buildings with some programmable loads, and a water pumping station. what happens? As the title of the use case says, we are dealing with congestion management and flexibility. In particular, all these resources, according to the schemes proposed by the interface project, needs to interact. All the resources and all the flexibility providers need to interact with IEGSA, which is the platform regulating all the interaction between actors in this project. Basically, what happens in our demo? In our demo, we have flexibility providers who needs to register the different resources. They need to create a resource group. They need to qualify the resources and the products. Furthermore, there will be a bidding process where the different actors can bid for products. And there will be also a control from the DSO that all these products can be acceptable from the grid. By the way, there is a set of different actions that need to be provided, that need to be done by the different actors in the demo, with the purpose to solve some congestion problems in the grid by offering to consume or to provide a certain amount of energy. Typically, these different contracts and bids happens the day before that the actual delivery of energy happens. In the actual situation, we build a platform in which all the data of all the assets are concentrated, and the different actors, so the battery aggregator, the charging station aggregator, the local energy community, and the large user, have different access. So each actor can access to its own platform and see its own resources. Then each actor can also visualize all the different assets he owns. In particular, for what concerns all the actual and historical data that the resource have. And so you can monitor all the different conditions of all the different assets and make some considerations in order to answer to some proposals or to sell some products to the market. This happens for all the different aggregators. So we will have for the batteries, for the charging station, for the local energy communities, and for the large user. For example, in the battery aggregator, we will have the availability of all the different storages, the historical profile of the normal operation of all the storages, and the aggregated one. We will have the maximum charging and discharging power of all the storages, and how many charging cycle all the storages did. All this information will be used as input. So now I'm describing which are the tasks that we want you to perform in our demo. We can provide as input all the historical data of all the systems that are integrated in our platform. We can give you the production of some prosumers, so some renewable residential energy systems, and also the consumption of the final users, and profiles of some flexibility resources. All the technical specifications of the different flexibility resources that have been considered in the demo, and APIs to be connected to the existing platform in order to exchange information with our demo platform. So basically, what you will have from our demo, you will have datasets containing all the informations of the different assets that have been installed and that are being monitored, and the chance to connect with the existing platform. What do we expect from this work? Actually, we are expecting a set of tools and softwares mainly composed by algorithms that needs to be integrated in the actual aggregator platform. So the one that have been developed in the demo, the one that I show you in the previous slide. What does the algorithm or the algorithms need to do? In particular, since we are dealing with some flexibility operations and some selling of products, energy products, the next day, we are asking for an optimal planning for flexibility providers to know which are the day-ahead offers to be answered to the market. And furthermore, we are asking for an optimal strategy to activate the different flexibility resources according to what has been accepted by the SO and the market. So we have different profiles for all the flexibility resources, which may result in a different potential availability of energy for the next day. And so on one side, we want a day-ahead forecasting on what can be a potential product that an aggregator can sell. On the other side, since the activation of that product happens during the next day, we want an optimal strategy to actually schedule the flexibility resources involved in the product that the flexibility provider sold. So it's a matter of forecasting, scheduling, and prediction in general. This tool, this software, these algorithms that needs to be generated, we receive the data from the aggregator platform, as I told you before, and should elaborate all the optimal profiles for the flexibility service provider to be offered to the market. So it's kind of a forecasting and the definition of the optimal products that a particular flexibility service provider can offer according to all the resources, all the flexibility resources that he has. After the market session, as I told you, basically a flexibility service, a flexibility provider can be qualified. His offer can be accepted, and the next day the activation can be sent. So basically, the second part, as I told you, consists in an optimal management, an optimal scheduling of the flexibility resources according to a different set of constraints both in a local perspective and in a market perspective. The scheme of the overall system should be something similar. So there are a certain number of resources in gray on the left part of the screen connected to the demo platform, where you can see aggregators, local energy communities, and a large user. In particular, all these resources will have historical production, their own characteristics, and also demand and generation profiles. So the toolbox, which should be done, which should be proposed, should contain at least a day-ahead scheduling for the best flexibility products that can be offered, and then an optimal strategy to schedule the flexibility resources when the activation of the product is done. So in brief, this is the general description of the needs of Demo 5.1 for this part of the open call. I thank you for the attention, and if you have any question, I'm here to answer.
Thank you very much, Lucio, for your presentation. So the attendees are asked if they have any questions to pose them through the Q&A. Any questions about this business use case? Okay, I don't see any questions. So if there are any, we can discuss them in the last slot. So thank you, Lucio, once again.
Thank you.
So basically, there was one coffee break scheduled for the next quarter. So let's go for the coffee break, and then we have two more business use cases. One that is related to an advanced tech base to manage, operate, and localize community, which will be presented by Carlos Avillon from Loyola. And the last one, which will be presented by Erki Saab from Ellery, related to flexibility service providers, including aggregators with demand response and distributed energy resources as a grid service provider. So let's take the break and be back at 11:15. So enjoy your coffee break. So hello again. I hope you enjoyed your coffee break. So we are back to continue with the business use case presentation. Again, we have two more presentations, and then we have a long slot to for Q&As for all the presented business use cases, as well as for any questions related to the processes of the open calls. So I could kindly ask Carlos to share his screen and go ahead with his presentation. So Carlos, the floor is yours, please.
Hello, Konstantinos. I'm going to share my screen now.
Yes, Carlos, thank you. Okay, great.
Okay.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. I'm having little troubles here. I apologize that I'm not sharing my video as well. My camera is not working properly. So hello, everyone. My name is Carlos Avion from Loyola University. I am here to present the business case for an advanced tech base to manage and operate a local energy community. So let's see. Okay. So a little bit overview of what we'll be discussing today. So we'll get into a little introduction of what the call is and what we're expecting from the participants in this call. So this business case will be in direct contact with the demo 5.2, which is being developed within the interface project, which is an intelligent distribution node. So we're gonna discuss a little bit of the current focus of the demo 5.2. Then we'll get a little bit into generalities of what local energy communities are and how we're envisioning it. Then the services provided by this local energy community. And at the end, we'll discuss a little bit of the expected outcomes. So this call is open for SMEs, startups, and mid-caps that have a broad knowledge of energy systems, of electricity markets, and are also highly specialized on IT technology. And the participants should be all interested in optimally operating a local energy community, which is equipped with battery-based energy storage, with photovoltaic rooftop units, and with a fully automatic cloud-based control system, which can be interoperated via EXA platform. The successful candidate will be leveraging Interface Demonstrator, as I mentioned, so it will make use of the resources and the tools developed for the intelligent distribution node in order to manage a local energy community. So the existing methods and operational tools that have been developed for this intelligent distribution nodes will need to be tweaked, adapted, or extended if necessary to meet the needs of what a local energy community manager will be, with the main objective of providing cheaper energy to end users and providing the aggregation of flexibility services to different grid operators. So getting now into what the current focus is of our demonstrator, as I mentioned, this business case will leverage the technology for the demonstrator 5.2, which consists of a fully operational intelligent distribution node. This intelligent distribution node has been developed on a commercial building in Sofia, Bulgaria, and it constitutes a perfect candidate for the development of an energy community. The building itself is divided into different departments, and these different departments might be considered as individual users for that form part of this community. The whole building presents a peak demand that is lower than 100K most of the time, and has 40 kilowatts or 41 kilowatts of PV peak power installed on the rooftop. And thanks to Interface, now this building will be equipped with battery energy storage system with a nominal power of 200 kVAs and more than 400 kWh of energy capacity. In addition, the building is fully observable through an energy monitoring system. And it also is also now equipped with the cloud-based automated platform that is in direct contact with IEXA. As part of the intelligent distribution node, we have developed different modules. So within them, we have the energy resource management system, which basically manages the power interaction between the energy assets that are present in the building. We have as well a grid service management system that basically manages the provision of congestion management for the DSO and the provision of balancing services for TSOs. All of these provisions via IEXA. And we have as well an information hub, which contains historic data about the demand in the building, the different measurements that we have in the building, energy prices, renewable energy generation. So it's capable of doing very accurate predictions of prices of renewable energy generation, demand profiles, and everything. So those are the modules that we have developed for the intelligent distribution node. Now, with the concept of local energy community, this demonstrator, we think will be able to interact with neighboring consumers to potentially offer better prices of energy, and also potentially aggregating their capacity to provide services to DSO and TSO. So getting into the concept that we're working with here for local energy community. So we envision the local energy community as an entity that allows organizing collective energy actions around open participation of community members, with the main objective of providing economic benefits to the members of that community and providing aggregated services to the different grid operators. So within one energy community, the prosumer or a prosumer, in addition to reducing its own bill, can help closely connected consumers to decrease their bill by offering the energy access at any given time. So for our building case, we can reduce not only the bill for the building users for these different sections of the building that I mentioned, but the local energy community can allow the combined capacities of the PV rooftop of the battery energy storage system to serve energy to other users that are around the building in Sofia. So the company that will manage this local energy community, if acting as an operator as well, will become an aggregator by monitoring all energy transactions, but also promoting attractive tariffs to different consumers that are closely connected in the building. It can promote as well demand response services and attend new user preferences, especially with electric vehicles connections and all this. So that is something that local energy community developed at this level can also do. And finally, it will be managing agreements and procedures with the different system operators and the users for the aggregation of the services. I apologize, sorry. So, so the services that we are envisioning here, besides the energy interaction that we'll be having between prosumers and consumers that are part of this energy community, where it is expected that these prosumers will offer more attractive tariffs to these consumers, the aggregator or the entity that is operating this local energy community will be in close contact or will be interoperated via IExa as well, with the technology already developing the IDN. And right now, services of congestion and services of balancing are already provided via IExa, but there is a potential opportunity for new grid services if DSO or TSO at any point require. But there are also other types of services that could be open, like accurate predictions based upon the information hub module that is already developed within the project. There is a potential to attend other user preferences from different consumers around the building, participating in new demand response programs, and especially opening new channels of communications with these consumers. So integrating this local energy community in the developed platform is a big improvement for the developed project right now. As we have the energy resource management system developed, this local energy community will be directly interacting with this energy resource management system. But now the whole idea will be that not only the demand considered within the intelligent distribution node will be optimized, but also demands from different consumers around the building. So this local energy community, it will represent a third module in terms of optimization within the developed platform. And as well, this local energy community will be in close contact with the grid service management system module, as the local energy community can as well aggregate services that will be provided through the grid service management system and via IExa to the system operators. So this is the services that we envision that will be provided by the local energy community. And as expected outcome, we are hoping from the local energy community manager point of view, the installation of smart meters, besides the one that are already installed as the building is fully observable, but the installation of smart meters in consumers around the building, the sign of agreements with aggregators that are part of the system to achieve better tariffs for the participants of the energy community, and especially opening these new communication channels via app or via web with the consumers to receive notifications or for them to be informed about their bills. Now, from the aggregator point of view, we already have the three modules, as I mentioned, of information hub, energy resource management system, and grid resource management system. But there is the potential to open new modules for energy pricing and for the local energy community building. So those new modules will be necessary to set the local energy community and for it to start working. Then communication, the connection and monitoring of the smart meters that are in place, and the newer smart meters to come, and the development of agreements and procedures with end users for the provision of these services. So the end users that will become part of this local energy community. This will lead us to new modules for local energy community integration in IExa. And at the same time, the local energy community will need to work closely with DSOs and energy marketeers, so that first, regulatory aspects are reviewed. So energy communities, as of now, are not regulated in Bulgaria. So that is something that this company must do, provide input to DSOs on how to set in place these local energy communities. Also, achieving new types of agreement with aggregators, and the new energy tariffs that can be proposed in the system for consumers that are deciding to become part of these new local energy communities. So that is from our side. I thank you very much. So I am here for any question.
Thank you very much, Carlos, for your presentation. So any questions can be posed in the Q&A of Zoom.
Okay, so I will stop my sharing.
Okay. Any questions for Carlos? Not so far, so probably we can continue with Erki, and then in the final slot, we can see if there are further questions for Carlos or anyone else. So please, Erki, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you see my screen now.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, thanks. So hello, everybody. My name is Erki Sapp, and I'm working in Elering as a head of energy market department. And I'm here today to present you the business use cases for this open call from the side of a single flexibility platform demonstrator. And jumping already ahead to the conclusion here, our demonstration is looking for flexibility service providers who would participate in the demonstration of the single flexibility platform, essentially making use of the EXA platform developed in the INTERRFACE project. But now a bit background as well. So as mentioned, we are the single flexibility platform demo set up in Finland, Estonia, and Latvia. We are in the demo area congestion management and balancing. And you can see the logos of the participants in our demonstration. For the purposes of this call, the main parties are the system operators, namely Elering, Fingrid, AST, Elektrilevy, and Elenia. Broadly speaking, the project partners are here developing the flexibility services platform that would enable flexibility to participate on different electricity market levels and connect also the Estonian, Finnish, and Latvian electricity markets with the aim of this the same architecture to be usable and used throughout Europe. So the broad goals are enable involving the flexibility to different power market levels, and by that, by introducing more flexibility to electricity markets, host larger share of renewables, and also aid the Baltic synchronization project with Central Europe with added flexibility and competition on the balancing markets. But more specifically, the single flexibility platform demo intends to decrease the barriers of flexibility service providers to participate on the different electricity markets. So the hypothesis is that the more flexibility can participate on different electricity markets, the more the flexibility is able to find the places and times where flexibility is most valuable and capture this value. We also increase the coordination between transmission and distribution system operators This is done on many levels. First of all, this coordination enables to find the flexibility, locate the flexibility asset in the grid topology. It also enables the system operators to check if any particular flexibility bead causes problems in their grid. And ideally, DSOs and DSOs will cooperate and procure flexibility services together to minimize the system costs. We are also aiming at facilitating competition between different power exchanges to in a way that that we are agnostic towards power exchanges willing to provide flexibility, therefore introducing competition and competition between the power exchanges, which would hopefully reduce the cost of power exchanges to the users of power exchanges, so the flexibility service providers. Now, from our side and from our business use case, it is addressed to either independent aggregators already having some consumption or production in their portfolio, or software developing companies who would, with their work, enable independent aggregation to reach or the independent aggregation to provide beads to the market. We intend to pilot 3 products. First is manually activated frequency restoration reserve, and the other 2 are congestion management products for either short term, which we mean as day ahead or intraday time horizon products, and congestion management operational, which we mean as a product activated during the operational hour. So the congestion management products are sort of new local products, which intend to, or purpose of which is to alleviate congestions in either distribution or transmission system. And the product type or the product standard conditions we intend to keep similar to the MFRR product. However, here we are quite flexible depending on the use case and what conditions are available from the side of flexibility service provider. As already mentioned in the beginning, we intend to, as an outcome, get a flexibility service provider to link to the EXA system or to the flexibility platform system, make beads and get some of the beads, some of the flexibility beads to be activated and financially as well as balance settled. In steps, this would mean that the flexibility resources would need to be registered and qualified in the system. The FSP should make either MFRR or congestion management beads. We also expect a certain, during the active demonstration period, we expect a certain number of beads per week. Then the beads may be activated by system operators, subject to the needs of the systems. And then, and then the activated beads are financially settled and balance settled. And flexibility service provider for that needs to provide the required metering data and also follow the relevant national electricity market rules. And now perhaps to go through these points also on the simplified EXA grid architecture. So we are looking for flexibility service providers who would register their resources in flexibility register, also get them qualified, which is done by distribution system operators and transmission system operators. Then when resources are qualified, then FSPs are expected to make bids to the markets. Here we are talking about congestion management and manually activated frequency restoration reserve markets as the first markets to be demonstrated. Then these bids are seen by system operators and can be activated. And if and when the system operators activate the bids, then the bids are settled with the help of information from data hubs, the measurement data where applicable, and also with the aid of data from metering data from flexibility service providers. So this is in essence what we are looking for, flexibility service providers who are connected, who would connect to the EXA platform and make flexibility bids. So this would be all from my side. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erkki, for your presentation. So questions for Erkki? Okay, I didn't see any questions so far. Still, we can move to the final slot, which is essentially, okay. Yes, there is one question for Erkki probably. Erkki, can you see the question?
Yeah, the question is, are there limits to the size of the aggregations or resources we are aiming for? Yeah, so there are at least for the manually activated frequency restoration reserve, the minimum size is capped or is limited to 1 megawatt. So this is according to the existing market rules. However, for the congestion management products, we are probably quite flexible, and there it depends on what is available from the FSP side. And the other question is, how about minimums? So the 1 megawatt bid was that I mentioned was a minimum bid size, and there's no specific maximum that I can recall. I'm not sure if I answered this question. So the 1 megawatt minimum for MFRR and probably no minimum for congestion management in the demonstration phase, depending on yeah. So it's we probably can be quite flexible in the congestion management bid minimum size.
Okay, nice. So more questions for Erki or for the other business proposals, or even for Maria relating to the process of the open calls? No questions so far. Maria, do you want to make a recap about the dates of the open calls?
Yes, of course. So the open call submission open today. Applicants have a deadline up to June of 30. No, sorry, 30th of June, 5 o'clock. They can resubmit their proposal until the deadline, and they can always download the final version that they have submitted. So by September 10th, the results will be announced. They have 10 days to submit any objections, and the contracting period follows, and beneficiaries will be able to start implementing their proposal by December 2021. So these are the key dates. I don't know if you want to add something more. Okay, the
Let's-
help desk is open. You can address either for us or for the experts any questions. It is not only for the processes, it's for the business use cases too.
Any questions in general? Okay, don't see any questions. So probably we can conclude the second webinar on the open calls. So Interface would like to thank all the participants for their expressed interest. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. I would also like to thank all the presenters for their interesting presentations. And with this, we'll conclude the meeting. Thank you all very much for your participation. Goodbye.
Well,